because it's clocking time. So I don't usually look at myself because I don't have a mirror in the cabin, so I don't see myself until I put on one of these stupid screens. But I'm in my cabin, and I wanted to answer some questions from last week. It's raining outside, and so I'm not outside right now. Claude's out there, though, in the rain, pulling garlic. And people had questions about what will exist. So consciousness will exist. Consciousness, which is intelligence, will continue to exist because consciousness is what makes up Gaia. It's what makes up the multiverse. Consciousness will continue to exist. Will this cabin exist? No, this cabin will not exist. But do I love this cabin? And did we have really fun making it? Yeah, we had a blast making this cabin because that's consciousness. Consciousness exists. And there's Claude, he's going out with the wheelbarrow. Claude will exist because he's consciousness. He will continue to exist. Will the trees exist? Yes, the trees are consciousness. The trees will exist. What about Ezzy? Will Ezzy continue to exist? Yes, Ezzy is consciousness. Ezzy will continue to exist. What about Ezzy's collar? What about Ezzy's collar? Ezzy's collar will not continue to exist because Ezzy's collar, here she comes, Ezzy's collar is not consciousness, all right? So this is what I'm trying to get through to people. And yes, wonderful people getting on today. And I'm happy to be able to make this live video with you. So I'm going to also tell you something that Barry Long spoke about back in 1985. So Barry Long often spoke about the fact that we would go through some kind of end of the world, but not the end of Earth, that this cycle and this experience here will change, okay? And consciousness will continue to exist. And so a quantum physicist who was very into technology and trying to figure out how to make his machines continue to exist, or himself as a machine to continue to exist, Barry Long said, no, none of your stuff will exist. None of it will matter. So you can make as many CERNs and as many machines, as many technologies, as many spaceships as you want, and they will not exist. And then the quantum physicist, who was a very smart guy, said to Barry Long, well, then what's the point? I don't understand. What matters then? What does it matter what we're doing? And he said, oh, it matters tremendously. And the guy said, okay, well, what about you and I? What about this conversation right now? And Barry Long said, yes, this is very important. That's consciousness. That will continue to exist. That conversation is consciousness. It's us becoming more intelligent together. That will continue to exist. All right? So even some of my friends that don't necessarily watch my videos, but are friends, are starting to have conversations, and they're getting like mystical realizations that the sun is going to change the hologram that's here. And how that's going to happen, I will try and discuss when I'm like seated and can make a proper video for you. But what I understand is that the sun will do a big coronal mass ejection, and like the big black hole that opens up in the sun that you often see, the whole of the heliosphere that goes all the way through our whole solar system will basically pull and make a magnetic reversal, and we will go through that black hole in the sun. Now, am I sure about that? No, because I was born here, like many of you were born here, and we don't have all our memories. But this has happened again and again and again, because if you read, for instance, like Voyager's Volume 2, there have been many different versions of the hologram that is Tara, and then Gaia, and then earth, okay? And we're at the lowest low that consciousness can continue to exist, you see? And in this particular hologram, we've reached a dead end. And that is because many persons have changed their blueprint. And when you change your blueprint, you become something that exits into entropy, because your blueprint is incredibly important through time to continue to exist. So for Ezzy, my little dog, she is still a beautiful creature who is sentient and will continue to exist. So people were asking me, like, will my car continue to exist? It's not digital. And I tried to explain that if there is like a spirit being in your car, which can continue to exist, it would have to be a consciousness. So, we're talking about like the gnomes and the fairies and the elemental realm and the things that charge different, like the wood stove in my cabin, or the elemental spirit in a horse barn or something that protects the horses. Those things are very much part of our energy field and will continue to exist. So what's been going on for a very long time, for at least 13,000 years, is the war on our consciousness. And it has degenerated us down to basically the lowest possible denominator. And yet, that's what's so amazing about it, is that even in that, I continue to exist as consciousness. So my consciousness is what will also go through and continue to exist. So hopefully that will help you to understand that some things are pure intelligence. Like here's Ezzy. Okay? Ezzy is as important as I am. The trees are as important as I am. The trees will continue to exist because they are intelligence, they are consciousness. So that's what I've been trying to explain to you. Like, a lot of people are trying to figure out, where to put their time and energy. Your time and energy is best spent in consciousness and experience and intelligence and learning. So if you're going somewhere, there's a lot of timelines collapsing right now. So you might go somewhere and there's all new people at the post office, or there's all new people at the bank, or there's all new owners at the restaurant. And that's because what's happening right now is timelines are converging. So there are many, 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 many versions of Earth, okay? It's a hologram, and that's called the many worlds theory, which I explained in my blogs when I used to have my website. So you are going to see strange anomalies. And for me, that's why we go out. We go out because we're going, ooh, what did we do to change the timeline today? And what new things are going to exist in the timeline? Because as timelines are collapsing and converging, you're going to see new people, new experiences, people you've never seen before. In fact, we had the most amazing day yesterday. Claude and I went kayaking out on our little pond out here, and we saw the biggest, fattest frog you've ever seen. Like, it was huge. It was this massive frog, and it was floating in the top of the pond. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's the grandmother of all frogs. And we went over and we got to see that grandmother of all frogs. And Claude lifted her up on the paddle, and she was absolutely sublime. And he's carrying her like this amazing creature of consciousness across the water, onto his paddleboard, and he plopped her on the paddleboard, and we got a good look at her. And she was purely sentient. She was absolutely consciousness. I'm talking about her consciousness will continue to exist. She's massive, big. She was super plump, like she'd eaten all the flies on the whole pond. It was so amazing. So she is consciousness. She will continue to exist. So that's what we're talking about. Like the grandmother of all frogs, the sea, the water nymph, the sea creatures, all of those will continue to exist. All right. So I don't know where we're going to be. I really don't know. So people are asking me some questions about that. Some people are feeling like when we go through the crystal core of Tara and Gaia are held inside of other stars. I don't know exactly where we're going to end up. Truthfully, all I know is that it's a wild adventure and I'm on it. I'm like, yes, wherever consciousness needs to exist, that's where I'm going. And we will go through. All right. And maybe I'll be able to get more information on that through time, because it also has to do with your blueprint. Your blueprint and however much you've activated in your holographic tree of life pattern is basically where you're going to go and how you will exist. So that's why people are very much trying to like knock down the divine blueprint and take away your intelligence with all the artificial stupidness called AI, you know, and all the people using like those AI things, which I don't even know how to use them, they're losing their consciousness. They're losing their intelligence. So this is literally a battle for your consciousness. And Ashra and Nadine and many others, and I was part of various telepathy projects and different things that got the exact same numbers, that very few people are going to make it through because their consciousness just does not have enough intelligence. All right, they are going to be on the phantom matrix, or what's called a dead matrix, which, you know, the anthroposophists called the eighth sphere or something like that. And it'll be a digital reality. So it very much depends on like, what are you doing? That's where you're going. What are you doing? That's where you're going. You know, see all the sticks back there? Some of our projects of making a log cabin, that will continue to exist. Our creativity will continue to exist. We stopped at a place when we were going to get our raw milk recently. We stopped at a place and just thought, let's see who's in here, you know, like how have we changed the timelines? Maybe there's new people. Maybe there's a whole new experience. So we stopped at this little roadside family. It's called Maple Creamies. It's a thing up here in New England, okay? So we stopped in, we were like, okay, let's get some Maple Creamies and see what happens. I don't eat stuff like that, but Claude wanted to be a tourist and we were having fun. So we were like, okay, let's stop and see what happens. So we went in. They were the most lovely people. It was like that old style family farm. They live up on the hill. They make their own maple syrup right next to the dairy where we get our raw milk. And they make these 100% raw milk and maple syrup creamies with homemade cones. I was like, okay, that's consciousness. Let's eat it. Somebody with intelligence made that. So we sat down and they were so nice. They were like giving us little free samples, and they brought Ezzy a little cup of maple creamy too, which is not very good for her or me, but we were like enjoying consciousness, okay? So we were sitting next to another table and there were three men, and they were really like animated having this discussion about something that they were building. They were creating something, and I was really excited. I was like, wow, they're creating something. What are they up to? You know, they're going to make something very intelligent. Wow, what are they doing? And then it started to be like the man was concluding it in a virtual reality. It was actually a game. It was a game that he had been playing, and he was telling these other men about some video game. And he was so into it. It was like he had just like built a whole village and like put up a sweat lodge in the middle. And he was like, you know, he was so into it, but it was completely virtual. It was about a game. And I was like, oh my gosh, what a waste of consciousness. Like, here's this man, these three men that could be very capable of like making a whole eco village with beautiful huts or cabins for everyone to live in. But they are talking about video games. That's the war on your consciousness. Do you see? Like, we're in here with some very bad predators. The Seratic spirits that are in here with us are very, very dangerous. Yeah, the crystal shaman is saying, build that village in real life. Yeah, exactly, man. That's what or woman, hi, crystal shaman. Exactly, yes, we need to do the intelligence as creators of real-time, real-life things. All the video games, all that crap is a waste of your intelligence, of your creativity, of your power. Yay, Franja, nice to see you too. Of all that you are with this intelligence. And so to me, that's the war. The war is, can you stay conscious? Can you stay intelligent? And, you know, when we went that way, we went through Bristol, New Hampshire, and we were suddenly like, oh, my stomach hurts. I feel sick. My legs aren't even working. Oh my gosh. And I bent down to just take a picture of these beautiful black-eyed Susan flowers, and because I like black-eyed Susan, I wanted to send it to my daughter. And so I took a picture, and then I saw that my phone said 5G plus, and I was like, oh, holy crap, they've got 5G plus on in here. And so that's Bristol, New Hampshire. I will not be going there again. So to me, I was like, you can feel these frequency bands. They're trying to destroy us, and they're still in here. The Jehovian Anunnaki are absolutely psychopaths, crazy, crazy beings. So you have to exist outside of that weaponry, get out of any 5G plus areas. So today we went to New London, did a big walk around a lake over there, and did some shopping and got some supplies. And I checked my phone at the library just to make sure it's not 5G plus. So that's where we'll be going. You know, you just have to start noticing that. We're at like a second to midnight right now, folks. So last time when I was making videos years ago, I was like, we're at 1 minute to midnight. Like, we got to keep going. This is like, if Gaia or this whole hologram dies because there's no consciousness left, all of space-time will wobble, okay? This is massive. Earth is the center of a massive galactic-wide situation right now. And your job, and I've said I'm part of the secret society that is so secret, I didn't even know I was in it, of keeping the human spirit alive, keeping the human going in their consciousness to be able to go through. Okay, so somebody's asking if I should do a rap song. Yeah, I haven't come up with a good rap song lately, but I used to sing all kinds of crazy little ditties that I would just get inspired and just sing, you know, something like, go, 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 humans, come on, let's do this. Keep your spirit alive. Oh, and the last thing is, if there's anyone who does need a roommate I'm now calling it the Wild Heart Reunion. Let me know if you need a roommate and that you've received that invitation and you're looking to room with somebody. So let me think if there's anything else right now. On July 6th, we will start the astrology videos, so that will be happening. Now, I don't have anything to do with Sasha Stone. I don't believe he's on the on the consciousness team, my dear. No, I don't have anything to do with Sasha Stone. Sorry about that. I think he's on the other side. But anyways, so for me, this is it, the reunion of the wild hearts, because these are the people that will go through. And so I was thinking, like, we'll do some plant medicine. We'll also really have some journeys with the trees and commune with the trees, some ancient trees out in that land. And when we did the riverboat tour, he was showing like some of these trees have never been cut. This is truly like tapping into primeval water and ancient trees and ancient plant life. And out there, you know, there were ceremonial trees that are bent, you know, like they used to bend them to show. And I was thinking, wow, wouldn't it be amazing if we could build a sweat lodge and have a lodge and then like jump in the spring? That's just a dream. But that's how we always used to do it. I used to have these great sweat lodges 4 times a year, always in the spring and in the fall, when you're doing a big cleanse and increasing your consciousness when the veil is thin, right? The equinox periods. This time, I'm not sure we'll get a sweat lodge, but Kali Mara sent me some beautiful resin of frankincense and myrrh. So we will do a bonfire and we will do a cleanse, and then we will jump in the spring. So that's my idea. So keep your consciousness going. Will all of consciousness be liberated, Tim says. Tim, anyone who is still conscious and still has their light body and still is ensouled, absolutely, that's what we're doing. We've been doing this for a long time. Keep the human spirit alive. Yes, it's been a long road. So we're going to triumph. Put up your arms for victory. Yes, we are doing this. We are doing this, humanity. Okay, so any more questions right now? Ask her what kind of drugs I used. Please, I beg you. Well, I had strawberries this morning in my Mucilix with some raw milk kefir. Those are the drugs I'm taking, dear. All right, sweeties. We're going to make it through, Crystal Shaman, my dear. Absolutely. We are triumphing. And this is the human spirit just glowing and seeing you glow also. So much love, sweet cakes. Yay. Thank you. Yes, good drugs. Yes, strawberries. Woohoo. All right. Bye-bye for now.